we need to measure the boat. So basically, we need to measure everything. By the EMS, you literally can put to measure completely the boat. We have the measurement of the hull shape is defined. We have rigs, sails, propeller, stability. So basically, whatever you see on the boat, it is coming to the computer, and computer can calculate us, the VPP can calculate us the rating for this boat. Before we start, there are a set of the rules we are using, and there are a set of the rules that we need to know and to be familiar before we do anything. The rules are this. I didn't yet update it. This one should be already 2017 to 2020, and it's not anymore ISAC, it's now about sailing. But our rules that are important are basically two books that we read. The so-called Blue Book, IMS, is defining everything about the measurement. So it's only dealing how you measure something. The Red Book, the ORC rating systems, ORC Club and ORC International, are explaining you how you use this measurement to rate the boat. And there is a set of rules what you can do on the boat while racing, how many sails you may have, how you use non-manual power or something, how you use the spinnaker, how you use what are the limitations on use of sails and things like this. And it also explains you in a short way how these calculations are performed. Besides this rule itself, of course, these rules are all made publicly on the ORC website, and you can download it. Besides, there is also complete VPP documentation that is really purely technical, and I would suggest it to those who wants to go on that level, because you will find hundreds of pages with lots of equations and integrals and stuff like this. And if you are with a naval architect or scientific background, it will be probably interesting for you. If you are not, it will be probably just boring and you will not understand anything. But the principle of ORC in general is one of the main principles is transparency. And that's why this is publicly available, so everyone can see how this works and can find how to optimize or how to understand why your rating is changed because we are, for example, increasing sail area. So for the measurement, what we need, the first thing is be familiar with the rules. Of course, being working with these rules for me almost 20 years, you never expect that you will know every rule in your head. It's always take a book with you and always check it, double check it before. Of course, by the experience you will get to know more and more, but you will never know everything, and no one's probably know everything. You might always, the first suggestion is always read the book and have the book with you, and whenever you have some problems, first read the book, and then if you still have a problem, read the book again. So this is because then you will find probably the answer what is needed and how something is being measured. We can talk later. Probably there is always a game, I would say, between the rule writers as us and designers or sail makers or crews or owners who are trying to find loopholes. And maybe during this, I will show you a couple of interesting solutions where designers are actually trying to find loopholes. So, what you need for the measurement? I wrote some of the stuff here, mostly trying to limit myself on what is allowed on the airport, but on the end I have to check it. So this is the big measurement tape. This goes to 50 meters depending on the size of the boat. We will keep our focus here on let's say regular, I would say normal boat. I don't want to show you what you need to measure a super yacht. No. At the moment, no. Then you have the small things like this. Then you have this one is particularly, or this one is particularly interested when you need to define the freeboard point at 45 degrees. Many of these tools and many measurers are using the standard production tools, but sometimes measurers are building their own tools. Particularly there is a small split level like this for finding 45 degrees. This is a bit complicated. I mean, you can simply make something like this, 10 by 10 centimeters, 45 degrees, put with these two bubbles, and then this is much easier to build. Then if needed, there is a small scale. It's very practical, also the one, depending on when you need to check the weights of the wheel for inclining, or even to record the weights in the inventory. Then you may have another one. And then there is, you will need this. This is densimeter. This shows you specific gravity of the water. I will show you this, how to use this. And then talking about custom-made devices. This is the device to measure freeboards. It's being developed by one of my senior measurers with whom I started to do this. Basically, you put this in the water goes in, and the water is, when you have the movement of the water inside is much less movement, it's much easier to read. It's something that you can do. I mean, there are different ways how to measure freeboards, but this is one of the things that help. All other things that basically you need, you can find in any hardware store, in any, it's not any particular. Besides of the hull measurement that we will talk a little bit more in a different way. So, one good suggestion. During the measurements, you always record and write everything you measure. Don't try to calculate, because some of the measurements you have to take in 2 steps. So first you measure from point of the measurements to the one point, and then from that point to another point of the measurement. Don't try to calculate to within, because it's very probable that you can make a mistake. You simply write. I prefer always to write by hand. There is lots of discussion. Should we have something like an iPad form and things like this on the water and on the boat? I always prefer to write on the paper, then come and then with the dry hands retype it. I will also show you. We have the software which you may use and enter all the measurements you are doing.
And I'll circulate a copy of the input.
Yeah, we
will have a look.
Yeah, we will also use this when we will be doing this practical measurement check. And also use only one measurement unit. Here in Europe, differently from our friends on the other side of the pond, we are using meters, and we don't know what are the feet and inches, and I don't want to play with this, because when I see something and it's too complicated for me. But what is important for us, we are using, as I said, meters. All the measurements, rigs, freeboards, and everything except the sails are going up to millimeter. Sails are going up to centimeter. And you are always try to think in meters. So if you have to record, 10 centimeters is 0.1 meter. 1 centimeter is 0.01 meter. And the weights are, of course, in kilograms or up to the 1 decimal place of kilogram. But it's always important to keep the same, not measure one measurement in meters, another in centimeters, and a third in millimeters. You will just make big confusion. And so after the measurement, you input the measurement in the IMS editor. This is the software that we will show you. It's very easy. The good thing about the software is the same software that rating office will practically the user interface, the rating office will use to produce certificate. And everything can be kept digitally basically no need. You still can have, it's always good to have written records somewhere in your, in your office or wherever, because sometimes it's good to check if anything is wrong. Because it's, as we are also saying yesterday, the main problem can be you simply mistype one number and everything goes pretty much wrong.
Zoran, if I could make a comment, are you gonna show them, access to the system and Sailor services and all that?
Not yet. I mean, we will work on the IMS editor.
The reason I mention this is a big part of the database, has measurement records for boats that were in the US, and therefore, some of the old ones are in imperial units.
Yeah, that's what I said. I still don't understand how you can leave it, yes, but it's.
Well, you're
No.
welcome to convert all of them if you like.
No, I will tell you, for example, we were showing yesterday this application form, and application form can be submitted both in meters and or imperial. And some, of course, some Americans were completing, in imperial. But the problem is that imperial, you need the feet and decimal of the feet, because 1 feet is 12 inches. If you put 1 feet 6 inches, this is actually 1.5 feet, and over the top of that, there was a guy, I think in Australia, who managed to complete the whole application in inches. So when I got this number, I could not connect it to what is this all about now? It's not this some 36 footer in numbers that you cannot put anywhere. So basically, we don't have a problem like this.